Howdy, Havasu Insurance fans. I'm Harold Sharp with Havasu Insurance, and we're located here in the heart of Lake Havasu City at 2160 McCulloch Boulevard North. Today I want to talk to you about two items real quick, and it's about having passengers in your vehicle. There's two things I want to give you advice on. One's a quickie. Never ask for money to give somebody a ride. You can say, please chip in for gas, but never say, it's going to cost you $10 for a ride. Here's the reason why. Legally, and you may want to talk to an attorney regarding this, and here's the question you might want to ask. If I tell someone I'm giving them a ride for $10, does that put me in a worse spot? And I'm going to tell you as an insurance agent, it's a good question to ask. Or, never ask for money for a ride. You can say, can you chip in for gas? You don't want to become a taxi service because you said something foolishly. So that's step one. Step two, offering rides. Offering rides is sometimes a good idea and sometimes a bad idea. When it comes to insurance, it could be a very bad idea. Realtors, for instance, put people in their cars every day and they don't realize the liability they put on themselves. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're in an accident and you happen to be at fault and you have passengers in your car, what happens quite often is people think they're covered to the passengers in their vehicle. This is the only area you're going to be covered for the passengers in your vehicle if you're at fault. If you're not at fault, your uninsured motorist or underinsured motorist may kick in because the other person was at fault, and then their liability. But if you're at fault, this doesn't cover it, this doesn't cover it, and that doesn't cover it, you're down to $25,000 per person. I'm showing you this for a reason. You'd be amazed how many school kids go pick up 2-3 other kids to take them to school in the morning. What happens if little Johnny or Joey or Jamie or whoever's driving gets in an accident at the four-way because they decided to look at their phone and go, I'm texting, or whatever. And I'm not blaming the kids for texting. If I was a kid, I'd probably be doing it myself. But here's the deal. If they get into an accident and they're at fault, next thing you know, a whole carload of people are at the hospital. You get this call to go see your kid. Now your first worry is about the kid. You're sitting there in a waiting room and little Terry's mom and dad are there, their kid was in your car, got hurt, your kid was wrong, and they go, hey, you gonna pay my medical bills? And you're like right there on the spot. And you find out that the medical bills are 50 grand. Well, you got 25 grand per person, you got another 25,000 to pay? Are you gonna put your house on the auction block pretty soon? That 25 extra grand that you're not covered for, and that's if you got the 25,000 medical coverage. The average person gets around 5,000. So now you're 45 grand in the hole if you're the average person. And it's because you let Johnny or Joey cruise around and go pick up his friends. And what I'm talking about is whether or not you should offer people rides. People think they have full coverage. It's a misnomer and it's a myth to call it full coverage. Nobody has full coverage. I don't think there's anywhere in the country that you have full coverage. You have certain coverages that go to certain amounts. And a lot of people don't get that because they don't understand insurance. A lot of insurance agents don't take the time, like I'm doing now, to make videos to try and explain to people what coverages that they have. I can't go through the litany list of what you don't have. I'm going through one big item that you don't have. You don't have much in the way of coverage when you're at fault or one of your drivers that's on your vehicle are at fault. Next thing you know, because you own the vehicle, you're being sued because Johnny or Joey decided to put some passengers in the car. And you need to understand how this can really affect you. Your livelihood, whether or not you get, whether an attorney, because let's just say you have that $45,000 difference on Terry, who got in the accident with your son, and then the next thing you know, that $45,000 turns into about $150,000 to $200,000 because you weren't paying it, and they had to get an attorney involved, The attorney said, well, let's do 3 times the amount. They want to get their third or 40% or whatever amount an attorney's going to, and rightfully so. They're an attorney, they deserve to make money too. You got doctor's fees, pain and suffering, all that stuff adds up. 45 grand just turned into $200,000. You know that house you thought you had paid for in full? Buy a house, yeah, that can happen. You can ask any personal injury attorney about what would happen if you got into an accident like that. But the first thing you want to do is a couple things. 1, get the best coverage as you can. 2, don't let Johnny or Joey or whoever offer rides. And we were talking about realtors do the same thing. And the thing of it is, when you put someone in your car, you're not covered. It doesn't cover anyone for that sort of thing. And that's why there's no such thing as full coverage. Go ahead and look up full coverage on Google when you get a chance. It isn't going to happen. Full coverage to an insurance agent means you bought as much as you can, but it doesn't cover everything. And I'm here to tell you that. And I'm here to try and prevent you from making a big mistake. Putting people in your car, driving them around, if you make an error and you're at fault. And by the way, a lot of times when you have an accident, it's what they call percentage loss. You could be at fault and the other person could be at fault. They call it 50-50. You're still on the hook for 50%. So Johnny was driving and he got into an accident and he's 50% on the hook, the $200,000 might get reduced to $100,000 after the lawsuit's done. Might. Or they're not suing for that amount because they know they're only covered for the 50%. I'm trying to give you an idea of why you don't want to offer rides to everybody in the world. Just because you have a nice car doesn't mean drive everyone. Full coverage, it's a misnomer, don't believe in it. So here again, offering rides, not the best idea. Thank you, and I'm Harold Sharp with Havasu Insurance. My phone number is 928-846-8003. We sell insurance in Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado. Thank you.